Baltimore police turned over its internal report to the state's attorney's office yesterday, but not before revealing new information in the case. Police say the transport van made another stop after picking up Gray that was not reported. A police department memo leaked to the Washington Post says a second prisoner in the van says that Gray was trying to injure himself in the van. Jeremy Eldridge with ENLawyer joins us with a look at the case. Now, you're not directly involved in this case, but everybody is watching it. To hear the police come out yesterday and say there was another stop that we didn't know about before, how significant is that?
Well, I think it's significant, at least in the sense that they're attempting to provide the community with as much information as the police department can, because this is highly unusual. Police department almost never releases this sort of information, especially if they're investigating a potential homicide. That information is generally kept confidential and then transferred to the office of the state's attorney.
But why didn't we know about this stop prior to yesterday? Why did it come as a surprise to them? Didn't they get statements from the police that were involved in the arrest as to what happened? Would that not have been in those statements? Is there, some are asking, is there a cover-up?
Well, we certainly know that there were statements provided, but we don't know the context and the content of those statements. So it very well could have happened that individuals gave statements, but they were brief in nature, or they left out or didn't remark about some very important details. What I think it more clearly speaks to is the standard to which they conducted their investigation, meaning that if they didn't drive the route, if police didn't go out and look for all of these independent cameras, which is commonly done by defense attorneys or private investigators, that really speaks to the standard with which this investigation was conducted.
I guess you do want to turn over every rock when you know there's so many eyes on you. Let's talk about the second prisoner in the van. There's conflicting reports from him. How significant is his testimony, whether it's one way or the other? Because I've heard two different things from him so far.
Well, whenever a witness is giving inconsistent statements, it's always a giant problem for everyone involved, because you really have to start sifting through what they say to find the truth. And a trial is generally a search for the truth. However, we've engaged into that step before even getting to that point. So I think it's incredibly troubling, especially in times where we're all watching the community as a pot boil over.
But even if whatever his comments were, he couldn't see what was happening. And originally people were saying that his original statement to police was that I heard him banging around. It sounded like he was trying to hurt himself. How much weight would that have?
It could have incredible weight. The problem is, in my profession, I make decisions by fact. I don't make decisions by assumptions. And the community right now, unfortunately, is being fed assumptions, and it's dangerous for all of us.
Well, now it's all in the state's attorney's hands. So walk us through that process. What does she have to go through? What has she already seen and started working on prior to just getting the report yesterday?
Well, I would like to believe, and in the lion's share of homicide cases, you have individuals from the office of the state's attorney working hand in hand, right in conjunction with the detectives from the Baltimore City Police Department investigating the case. So one would like to assume that members of the state's attorney's office have literally, from the infancy of this case, been working with these detectives. Now, once the information is transferred to the office of the state's attorney, it's really up to them to get independent information that may not have been collected by the police department. A very good example of that would be the autopsy findings. We're making a lot of assumptions, and there have been some leaks about what that report contains, but it hasn't been finalized, both the physical autopsy and the toxicology, meaning what, if any, substances were in Mr. Gray's body at the time. But after that, you could get medical records, follow up on witness interviews. This is a time with national attention that I'd like to believe that the Office of the State's Attorney is going to be focused on making sure they have every detail locked down before making a decision and providing that to the public.
So that just sounds like there's no time frame. It could just be when it's done, which is the right way to go.
Exactly.
All right.